Alright, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to Who Gon' Tell 'Em. We got another video, man. This one, I'm gonna do a little different. You know, I've been trying different stuff now, but I'm gonna watch this one in real time. We're gonna watch it together. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just give you a little breakdown in the beginning, too. Like, this video, I think it's about interracial dating Dr. Umar with Nick Cannon. And we just gonna, we gonna see what they talking about. But I already got my thoughts on Nick Cannon. Like, come on, man. He know what he doing. He know what he like and all that type of shit. It is what it is. But here we go.
Back in session with the Honorable Dr. Umar Johnson. Man, we've been going viral. We've been having some heated conversations, some discourse, but I feel like they're all healthy.
Yes.
And we left off in the last session with me asking the question, and it's even the reason why I created council culture, because I want to be accountable. I want to be held accountable for everything from the community, from individuals, and I'm a true example of somebody who has been canceled many times for things I've said, for things I've done, for opinions that I've had, things that I've pontificated. What I've learned, I'm attempting to not just get out here on my soapbox and say, this is what I know. As we know, we're both avid readers. We're both people probably, educated at certain levels on many different topics. And I've made the mistake in the past to often just regurgitate things without doing the proper research. And we talked about this in the last session of like the responsible voices of.
And I feel like right here, he talking about, the situation with the We Are the Jews, the interview that he did when he said that. I don't like how he backtracking and he going back on what he said, and he, and he basically saying that what he said wasn't true. When in reality, who telling you what's true and what's false? Who telling you the history? The winners always tell the history of whatever war, whatever was going on. The winners gonna tell you, what happened, and it's not always gonna be the truth. They gonna tell their side. They gonna make them look good and make everything sound how they want it to sound. That's just like you having a conversation with your, the guys or whatever, and you gonna sauce it up a little bit. You gonna, it's the same thing with history. So just because they tell you, yeah, nah, that ain't what really happened, you gonna believe them? Just because they tell you that this ain't what happened, because this they story, this how they gonna tell it, you gonna believe that, oh, I'm wrong. That man did that research on what he said. He did his research. He found out the truth, but they made him go back on his word. You can't be out here telling that. You can't be out here saying this to people. And that's what they did. And I don't like the fact that, he went back on it and he, it's for the money. I understand it. You got a family to take care of, but at the end of the day, some stuff you got to stand on. You got enough money to take care of whatever you got going on. You could have, he could have did what he could have did. But again, like I was saying, the winners going to tell the war. They going to tell the history of whatever happened, how they want to tell it. And who there to tell them that, nah, this ain't right? Who gonna say that? Who gonna tell the truth about what happened? Because every time somebody ready to tell the truth, this what they do. They come back. Oh no, I didn't know what I was talking about. I just heard somebody say it and I regurgitated. Come on, man. You did your proper due diligence. You did what you needed to do to figure out what you needed to find out about the history of this group of people. And when you brought it to light, they treated you like that, and now we here. And it's messed up. But again, this what happened. The winners always tell the history. The loser can't say nothing. But that's right off bat, I see what he doing. I don't like it. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And that's one thing, that's one thing we got to get past. Because Why should we believe these people who telling us what the history is when they lie to us about everything else? They tell you that the food you eat, oh yeah, drink milk, grow strong bones, you get strong. That's what they tell you. That was a lie. It's a lie. Milk ain't good for you. Half the food we eat not good for us. But they control that. But they tell us, this is what they do. So I'm supposed to believe you about my history and who I am and everything else. But you lying to me about something as simple as the food I eat, just for your gain. Eat carrots to help you see, to help your eyesight. All of this stuff was lies. You got to do your research. They told you that about milk because they had all that milk. And they put so much money in the milk during that war. They put so much money in the milk during that war because they needed something that they could easily make and they could easily eat. They had to feed the soldiers. They was giving them milk. The war ended. Now we got all this milk. What we going? Come on, man. They did that for financial gain. They lied to you about your health for financial gain. But they going to tell me the history. They going to tell me my real history. They'll lie about that. Something so simple. Come on. What is we doing? What we doing? These the same people. I'm supposed to believe they gonna tell me the truth about my history and who I am and what's going on in this world. But they can't even tell me the truth about some food. I don't know. It's not adding up. It's not adding up. I don't know. But I ain't gonna get too deep into it, you know. Do your research. Maybe I'm lying about the milk. Maybe I just made that up. I just made it up. Go do your research. Go find out. I ain't nobody. But yeah. Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to do better.
Being able to just say different things because we heard someone else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So for council culture, it's about creating dialogue, creating safe spaces to have these conversations and learn. Mm-hmm. And more importantly than learn, to heal. So I left off at the end last session and starting off this session with asking a professional, a doctor of clinical psychology, do you feel I'm irresponsible as an entertainer, as a black man with, as people say in the community, a super father, or some people?
I'm going to stop you right there. I answer the question for you. I answer that for you. Hell yeah. Your ass irresponsible. Let me stop laughing because this ain't even funny. But hell yeah, you irresponsible, man. You look at the platform you got. You could be out here like helping people for real and really doing something. You know, you so pro-black. Cool. That's cool. You for the black people. Cool. We get it. But if you gonna claim that, you gotta do that. You in a position like you're financially good. You're connected to certain people who can do certain things. You have a platform that you can speak. Your voice is heard. You say something, people gonna hear it. All you doing, you could spark that brain that needs to be sparked. That's what you could do with your platform. You could use it to help. This is a start. Dr. Umar interview, you know. It's a start. What you trying to do? I don't know what you do, you know. But I know that a lot of people that's in a similar position to you, they like to do stuff like hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving and give back to school backpacks, school supplies, and give toy drives and stuff like that. And that's all cool. But I don't think that's for the pro-black person. That's not for the person who say, I'm for black people. Because if you for black people, you're not going to do those things. You're going to do something that actually helps the community, you know? You're going to actually help somebody who going to help somebody. You see what I'm saying? Not give a turkey to eat for a night or a couple days or whatever, or school supplies that's going to get you through half the school year, the first couple months of the school year, or clothes or whatever. You see what I'm saying? You going to help in real ways. That's, again, this is when I get to you hand feeding, you spoon feeding, you saying, I'm going to help you every time you need it. I'm going to give you a little bit, but I ain't going to give you enough to do nothing. It's like he going to teach you I ain't going to teach you how to fish, but I'm going to take you fishing with me, and I'm going to just give you a fish. I'm going to fish while you just sit here and we going to talk. You will never learn I'll never teach you how to fish, but I give you a fish for coming to fish with me. I got 30 fish. You get one fish. You can eat for the night. Come fish with me again. I ain't going to never teach you, but I'm going to keep giving you little fish to where you satisfied, but I'm not really helping you. Is it really help? That's the question. These people be in these positions, and do they actually help? Like, what is they doing? That's what I mean when it's like you got people in positions and they not actually helping nobody. They not. They claim pro this, pro that, but they not helping nobody for real. Toy drives is not help. School, that's not help. If I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you. I'm going to put you on your feet. I'm going to teach you something. Something. I'm not going to spoon feed you and give you something to eat for the night. That's not, I'm going to teach you how to go hunt. I'm going to teach you how to go get it. That's help. They be out here. It's fake help. That's all. I don't want to be long-winded, because I do like to get on these long tangents and just go on and on and on. But yeah, these celebrities and these people, they don't be for nobody. Because if they is, they'll be helping people who help somebody. They'll be helping people who gonna help people. If you helping somebody who's selfish and they only gonna help themselves, you doing a disservice to everybody and yourself. That's fake help. That's fake help. Because if I really want something to happen, if I really want to help, I'm going to help somebody who going to help somebody. And it's a cycle. It's a cycle. That's all it is. But let me get back into the video, because I be cool. Y'all see what I like to do.
People even could say someone who has created many broken homes. I have 12 children.
Okay.
I am an open and free-spirited individual who, like we talked about before, feel everyone has the ability to live their life in which way that they wish, and I pass no judgment on anyone.
Yes, sir.
I entertain, and in that same form, I've created shows like Wildin' Out to various different shows, to Bad versus Wild with Zeus, and all type of things where I've been ridiculed, and people often, irresponsible is light in what they've called me online. And I say that to say, if there is a place that I've been responsible, because as we know, Malcolm X probably said it the best, that the media is the most powerful tool on the planet, because it can have you loving your oppressor and hating the oppressed. But me knowing that, and me knowing that media is really just an acronym for manipulated entertainment designed to influence all. I'm trying to do the culturally responsible thing with council culture. But
see, there you go again. The cultural thing for council culture. Come on, man. If you really wanted to help, the steps you needed to take. Things you could and couldn't do. And Dr. Umar, I ain't even gonna get on you, boy. He be dressing like you feel like he ain't got no money. He trying to, man. I listen, I mess with you, Dr. Umar, but hey. Hey.
I got to hold myself accountable. So as I sit here before you as a man who I've heard many times say that we should not, lightly say that we should not date outside our race. You've made many more colorful statements from the idea of, going skiing with the snow bunnies and many other terms. But you know, I do have children with multiple races of women, and you know, white being one of them. And I'm interested to know, one, how you feel about this, and then you know, as I sit next to you, and you know, I consider you my brother. I consider you someone that I admire and look up to in many different ways. But
Likewise.
you know, sometimes we agree to disagree on various. But this is a safe space
Yes,
to,
sir.
to
Yes,
have
sir.
this conversation.
Yes,
So
sir.
I say all that to say, you know, as someone, I'm sitting on your couch today, Doc. Heal me, help me.
Right, right. When we deal with
Heal.
interracial relationships, I always like to qualify the conversation for people who are listening, especially those outside the community, so that they understand I don't come from a place of hate.
Okay.
I have nothing against the Caucasian woman, Asian woman, Latina woman, East Indian, Arab, all the various beautiful women of the world. I have nothing against them. But I'm loyal to the black woman because she suffered the most
I agree, 1,000.
at the hands of this society and this
100%.
planet. And because I come from a black woman, I have a special obligation towards her. And when I look at when our successful black men tend to marry out or reproduce outside of the community, I think on some level it can be insulting to our sisters.
Okay.
I consider it insulting to the community as a whole. And as someone who works in the school, I've had to entertain conversations with black girls who are asking Dr. Umar, is there something wrong with me? Because it appears that when you all make it, y'all always abandon the community in pursuit of your spouse. And when we look at the wealth differential between successful black men and the women they choose to marry or reproduce with, it's very obvious that there is a significant financial gain to the woman in many times, which equals a significant financial loss to the black community.
I've heard you say this many times.
Let
And
me give you
that's,
one more.
that's a very small percentage of the group of overall interracial dating. Because
But-
there's only so many successful black men at that level that can elevate and create generational wealth.
Yeah, I see how he try to pull this shit down. That man ready to listen. Listen, man. Look at him. He ready to defend his little interracial dating. He ready to defend it. That boy, he pulled this shit down. He had to straighten up. Like, oh no, I got him. Hey man, y'all gotta watch this nigga, man.
Okay.
Because if we keep it a stack, Doc,
Okay.
the most interracial relationships.
Look, look. Y'all see how Dr. Umar looking at him? He gave that nigga this. The fuck? Look at this nigga. He a proud bunny hopper, as Dr. Umar would say. Nah, let me stop playing.
I said it before.
Uh-huh.
The most interracial relationships we
Y'all can't tell, but y'all don't see this man's face. Hold on, let me look at.
Doc,
Okay.
the most
Look at this. Look how he looking at him, man. Look at his face. Come on, man. Y'all, come on, man. He looking like he is a proud bunny. He defending that shit with his whole soul. He had to straighten up. Man, Nick Cannon, you out here looking bad, man.
interracial relationships we see, because I've heard you say this before.
Uh-huh.
The most interracial relationships
Look at him. Nick Cannon don't even see it, man.
we see is a strong, handsome black brother with unshapely
Okay. Right.
white
That's
woman
beauty, son.
that's
He's
happy to guy.
he's equally
I'm trying to be this as clear
Right.
as possible.
Right.
But it's a black man that can have any woman he wants, but because he can put his car in her name
Uh-huh.
and he can financially
Right.
gain off of this white woman
Right.
who looked like she done had a couple of Taco Bell trips.
Right. Right.
And she happy that she got her a
Uh-huh.
good black man.
Uh-huh.
And those are the questions of why these young black girls like, why would he choose her
Okay.
and not me? Because she got the paper.
Right. But either way.
And that's the majority. Now you see the athletes or the entertainers
Right.
that might get them a
But that's
little-
because there's only a few of you at that upper echelon.
Right.
But for those of you who are at the top 1%,
Right.
right, income bracket, y'all go out the community to marry more than men similarly placed in their community.
That's such a small percentage, though.
Right, but black men marry outside of their race more than every other group of men per capita.
And I'm not making this as an excuse or an example.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that cannot be attributed purely to coincidence. So let me ask you a question directly, Brother Nick. You have beautiful African children by beautiful non-African women.
Right.
Would you say, honestly, your decision to reproduce with non-African women, was that deliberate? I don't want my sisters? Or were you a victim of unconscious self-hate programming?
Now, I've had this conversation on another one of my platforms with my brother Reza Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because online they cut it up.
Okay.
And they made it seem like I was saying...
And I didn't see that clip, by the way.
Yeah, it was a clip where it pretty much was... I was saying exactly that we've been programmed and conditioned to be that the white woman is superior.
Mm-hmm.
That's and I made all the statements that there was a time
Mm-hmm.
that... and obviously all the sisters came from me because they just saw that
Mm-hmm.
element of the clip. There was a time in which white women were looked at as...
I agree with that, though, because... Like, if you ever see a black man with a white woman, that nigga, he holding his head up high. I got mine. Like, he is one of them. Like, they really do hold that. Like, I don't know why. I don't believe in that. But I don't know what that is, but they get to, it's like a trophy for them. I don't understand why this woman is the trophy and this woman is not. I'm the wrong person to ask, but I see it a lot of times. Like the black man with the white woman, he head held up high, but once he see another black man, he kind of start looking a little. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't seen it. If y'all ever pay attention, like just go outside. When you see it, they might hold their head down. They might look everywhere else. When they see a black man with a black woman, or just a black man, or maybe just a black woman. You see what I'm saying? But in the case that I seen, every time I seen it, it's the same thing. Like they kind of, But any other time, that head up high, yeah. I don't know what it is. I can't speak for that. But go ahead.
The standard.
Not just the standard, but symbols of success.
True.
Or even that are unattainable. If we go all the way back to slavery,
forbidden fruit.
We not supposed, and vice versa.
Okay.
They looked at us like we ain't supposed to be messing with them, and we was looking at we are not allowed. We can die if we mess with them.
But see, that's the difference.
Yeah.
You could die messing with them.
Right.
They're not going to die messing with you, though.
So I say all of that to say I understand the social programming, and I truly believe it's so. And then that makes me, as someone who's done the research and the understanding, goes all the way back to even defining what is race and when was race defined. And as we know,
but before you define that, does Nick Cannon have a bias against black women when it comes to romance?
The quick answer is absolutely not, because
how do you just?
I'm not gonna say he got a bias, but if you look at his baby mamas, they look a certain way, and it ain't no black beautiful women in there. All those women ain't that. They something else. I seen the pictures of his mama. It's a black woman. They don't look nothing like her. So it ain't that. It ain't that. But I don't know. Y'all look into it. Y'all tell me what y'all find.
Justify.
I say this because one, just as much, I got a white baby mama, I got a dark skinned baby mama too. So in that sense, I can equally say I ain't got no type. You know what I mean? Like I love women.
But I would push back because as a successful black man who has children with multiple women, for almost none of them, or let me take the positive, only one of them being of African descent, does that not suggest that you clearly search out those who are not of your racial group.
So that's why I had to go here first, and we're gonna. I don't want to get too deep. I want to talk over anyone's head. Of phenotypes, because in that sense, when I'm talking about the origin of race, because before there was race, there was phenotypes, and really that's just based off of what we look like.
Okay.
So in that sense, to where in I guess what the German doctor in whatever 1700s, Dr. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, the dude, the psychologist, who said who created race. Who hit, I think it was 7 identities, and it was everything from African to Ethiopian to white, to where they could put this hierarchy system that white was on top, therefore that they could classify while everyone else was subdominant. So in that, before that infrastructure was created, and that was even during slavery had already been established here, in America before the term race was created. So it was phenotype in what we look like and origin in which we came from. And as a Pan-African, I know you understand the ideas that even with, we've been there, even within the motherland, even in the continent, there's a hierarchy of complexionism. And sometimes even
introduced by the oppressor.
Of course, it's colonization, and even and then now in the terms of I've gotten in trouble for this talking about the power of melanin. In the sense of, as Tupac say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
I would agree.
And in that sense, so yes, like I said before, there is an idea of the standard of what we believe to be beautiful. I believe a dark complected woman who embraces all of her naturalness is far superior, especially in this day, and in her beauty, than someone who is attempting to assimilate or look like someone else.
So if you have any more children, she's going to be a chocolate goddess.
I got one. I
got one. One. Y'all don't hear this nigga, man. He stand on that clip. He's like, I got one. Like I got one. I'm cool. We understand, bro. You don't like, just own it though. Like, you like what you like. Say that and be that. Embody it. Don't get to faking and I got one. I love the beautiful she here, and come on, bro. You just, again, it's the same sentiment with somebody fish feeding. They ain't gonna keep it real with you.
I have a daughter named Onyx. Beautiful. Now, but I'm not saying I'd have just as much love as I have for Onyx as I have for my oldest Monroe. You know
I believe that.
And in that sense, it's unfortunate because I feel like we're the only community that has to deal with complexionism at this level. And
but white supremacy introduced that into us.
Because there's the caste system and the class system that's in India. That's
right. But caste, that is true. That is true. But who introduced that into India? They were colonized by the British.
They were as well. But again, because as you remember, and it's in the books, and I don't want to say this because I don't want to, but even in the African consciousness, and it shows as we go all the way back to those conversations of when the white man did come on the continent, we looked at them as foreign and inferior.
Oh, absolutely. The white man was traditionally painted as the devil in African culture.
So
before we ever encountered him.
Right. So in that, it was never at some point, and however it happened through the.
Do I gotta rewind that? What did he just say? Hold on. Let me. My bad, y'all. Let me rewind that.
Them as foreign and inferior.
Oh, absolutely. The white man was traditionally painted as the devil in African culture.
So in
before
that,
we ever encountered him.
Right. So in that, it was never.
Wait, before they ever encountered him? How they?
At some point, and however it happened through the colonization and all of that.
I'm gonna let y'all do with y'all, please.
This idea of beauty,
of
a lighter complected, a thinner nose, a thinner lip individual was placed on us.
Okay. So you fell victim to that?
I don't think I did. I feel like.
Okay.
Again, like I said, and it's so complex even in my world because, you know, one of the mothers of my children has a strong, you know, Islam background, and when I say Islam, I'm Muslim from Africa, you know, and those understandings, but she's lighter complected. One would look at her and wouldn't even know, or even in this.
That's the point, brother Nick. That's the point. He missing it. Like that's the gist of what Dr. Umar is saying. Like you.
Sense of one of the mothers of my children is a dark skinned complected, but still can be considered Afro Latina because so it's
but
so
African Latinas are still African.
100%,
just a different language.
But even within their infrastructure,
yes, they have the color
system.
hierarchy.
Yeah, there's
introduced by the white supremacy, though.
Right. So when I say that, I'm not looking to see how dark you are, or how full your lips are, how wide your nose is.
Let me take it another way.
Right.
When Princess Onyx grows up with her siblings, you're going to have a conversation along with their mothers about colorism.
100%.
As someone who grew up in a home with a dark sister who was darker than me, beautiful, but my older sister was darker. I saw how she suffered some of the pangs of colorism within my extended family.
100%.
So when Onyx gets to the age where she begins to recognize race, and Brother Nick Cannon has to have that conversation with her mother and the mothers of your other children and your children, your family. You're going to have this conversation. And when you start explaining to Onyx that your blackness is in no way a sin or a curse, it's a blessing and a power.
Absolutely.
Right? When she reflects back to you.
Her name is Onyx for a reason.
Absolutely. It's black power, actually.
Yeah.
But when she reflects back to you as her father and say, well, Dad, if this color is all that great, how did you end up to reproduce so many children with women who are not this color? What would you say to Onyx?
Dad has a problem of wanting an assortment of flavors.
Get out of here.
That's the truth. I want to taste everything. I want to know what that tastes like. I want to know what that tastes like. And it's just, and if I'm being honest, sitting here, it's just like, and I got in trouble, and I apologize because I didn't know it hit him this way. And I apologize again. I was on one of these podcasts and I was outwardly speaking, and I think it kind of came out the wrong way. I was speaking about my brother Travis Scott.
Okay, what happened with Travis?
And it was when, because
the situation that happened.
No, he has a child with Kylie Jenner.
Okay,
and I was attempting to take his side and say, the statement I made, I said, in Travis dating Kylie, at no point do I think he was attempting to make a cultural statement. And in that, I think it got perceived.
But is ignorance an excuse for irresponsibility?
You asked that question before.
Yes.
I think it was perceived as him saying, but I was actually saying, I do the same thing where I'm doing it for love.
Okay.
I'm not doing it to be right here to say I'm doing it for my community or any of that stuff. I'm doing it because I love this woman. Now it may be,
and I don't doubt
it
that.
may be ignorant because I'm not thinking about what the community is going to think. I'm doing it because, man, I fell in love with this woman regardless of her complexion, regardless of her race, regardless of her upbringing.
But do you have an obligation to the community, though? You married her because you loved her.
No,
but do you have...
Because I get this all the time. You can't talk black and sleep white. You can't be black in the streets and white in the sheets.
When we look at childhood actors...
Yes.
You are the most prominent, successful black childhood actor probably in American history. People think of Nick Cannon. You understand?
Right.
So to all the beautiful chocolate black girls of the same complexion as your beautiful daughter Onyx, and even those of every other complexion, yours, mine, and so forth, for you to be the king of childhood actors, which means our daughters love you. They talk about you. I heard kids talk about you the other day in positive manner. Do you not feel any guilt at all for the fact you did not provide them with that wholesome example of showing them how much a black woman deserved to be loved on by not choosing one yourself?
So I've got to unpack this in many ways because
Okay.
sitting on a psychologist's couch, yes, I feel guilty.
Okay.
But I feel guilty for multiple things.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and what I've learned about there's nothing wrong with guilt doesn't mean shame.
I agree with you.
Guilt means accountability.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
And I say that to say, so symbolism, what our community sees, who they hold up high and revere, is all real. So I always talk about equanimity in that sense of where I must be responsible to, if I faltered in this way,
Okay.
I have to make up for it in this way.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I know I am unsuccessful when it comes to relationships.
Okay.
I have a failed marriage. I've had many failed relationships, and this is all based off of society's measurement and metric
for the
system.
record,
Yeah.
I was a little jealous of you when you married Mariah. 'Cause I was in love.
Look, light skinned in a mug.
Listen, when I was in college, I mean, this is before y'all time, but when I was in
I knew he was gonna go there and get into that. Talk about some. I was jealous when you married me. I knew he was gonna do that.
college at Millersville University, Mariah Carey poster was on my wall.
Facts.
When y'all got, I said, how did Nick get Mariah?
That's what everybody
I was
said.
in love with Mariah, but go ahead.
And
go ahead.
we young Moroccan just gave you
Yes,
that right
sir.
there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
that is fruits of that.
Yeah.
But in the sense, I say all of this to say that's the reason for this space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where I believe I got to be held accountable for certain things. But in that sense, to whether it's my daughter Onyx or my other daughters and the daughters of our community, I am an example whether I want to be one or not. And that's why it's like I don't believe in role models because roles are things that you play. I'm a real model. I'm a real individual. So therefore, there's going to be a lot of things that happen in my life that everyone's not going to agree with.
And I think you're going to rectify it because looking into the future, which only God can see.
That's true. I agree with what he said and how he said it. He said that perfectly, well spoken. But as well as being a real model, you got to live in reality. Like, for your actions, it's stuff that come behind that. And you just got, you got to do what you got to do. But we're going to keep going. Basically, what I'm saying is your actions, how it affects people, how people look at you, you have to still take that into account when you making your decisions because that's reality. Regardless if you like it or don't like it, it's reality. It just is.
Rule your daughter Onyx. I think you're going to do some great things with your other children as well.
Right.
But through your daughter Onyx, because of her beautiful, richly melanated, original African complexion, I think y'all going to bring forth some programs, some projects, some organizations, a cartoon, a line of children's books to build black girl self. You understand?
Because one thing I do, and I've had these conversations, one thing I do know with my daughter, Onyx, I'm going to have different conversations with her.
Yes, sir. You will. Yes.
Because of the way that society is set
and you're
up.
going to have conversations with them to make sure they remain conscious of their bias when they're relating to their sister.
100%. And they're, because, again, their mother is probably one of the most beautiful, and I even forget even saying dark skin.
Yes.
But because of her complexion is dark skin, but one of the most beautiful women.
Yeah, I think the chocolate only adds to the beauty.
Yeah, and to be able to be that with that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know what I mean? It is so powerful in itself to be able to walk in the room and be so striking. And
I agree.
And so attractive. And to not look like everyone else, especially today where every woman on Instagram looks exactly the same.
There's nothing more regal, more honorable, more earth-shattering, more attention-grabbing that when a chocolate black woman walks into the room, and I'm going to add natural hair to that because that's my bias, but when a chocolate natural African woman walks into a room full of self-confidence and owns it, the whole room bows down, not literally, but in a metaphorical way, because that right there is God. And what I mean by that, when I say the chocolate African woman is God, she is the original complexion of the first person God put on the planet Earth. And since the black woman is the only woman with the mitochondrial DNA, the Eve gene, and with the chocolate African woman,
I'm gonna let Dr. Umar get in his bag, but y'all gotta do y'all research on DNA. Oh my God. Oh my God. This another thing that opened my mind to the world being bigger than what we've been told. And there's more to this world than what we are told and what we see and what we do in this society. Because if they like to say we all human, but when you look at the DNA, okay, you can say whatever you want, but we different. We not all the same. We not all the same. And if it's in our DNA, our the structure of us, the structure of what makes us us, if that's different from me to you, that means something. That means something. And that meant something with me. That sat with me. That made me, want to find out more and look into certain things. I want y'all to do y'all research. Listen, don't just take my word for it. Just do some research. Do some research. Once you start finding more and more out, you like, damn, these people really been lying to me. I don't like being lied to. I want to know the truth. I'm that type of person. Be honest with me. But yeah, I want y'all to do y'all research. Go figure this out, because that was the thing for me. That's what sparked my brain. Maybe this might spark somebody's brain who watching this video. But when I learned that the DNA structures was different, and it's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think and you wouldn't know, and it's real and it means something. And we surface level with a lot of the stuff we know, and we don't even know it. But as time goes on, I think that is getting shorter and shorter before everything come out. And I don't want to sound like, them people, but I promise y'all gonna see, man. That was just something I wanted to share with y'all, but I'm gonna let him get back in his bag.
Being the most melanated, because that's the most original, she is God. And I'm saying that not to deny anyone else their divinity.
We all come from her.
Absolutely. We all come from her. And so it's just so hurtful for me, being a psychologist, working in the schools, where I see the shame that a lot of our chocolate princesses endure, because they've been miseducated against the fact that when you look in the mirror, you shouldn't see something ugly.
Right.
You should see the most beautiful being on earth.
Right.
And as I said, I believe you and your princess, along with your other children, y'all going to bring forth something to help shut down the colorism. Because what you do have, Nick, is you have every complexion in your children.
Absolutely.
I'm saying to you, I'm charging you in the future, because you got a long way to go. Turn that. You understand me? Into a weapon of mass construction. To destroy colorism in our community.
I love it. Can I offer this up? Just because I'm sitting on your couch. I'm right here. I need the help and the understanding. And again, by no means is this an excuse, but I want to unpack it. Could it be that my mother, who is of mixed race,
this go back to what I was saying earlier when I'm like, y'all go look at his mama. Look at his mama and tell me the rest of them girls look like his mama. They don't look like her. Nothing similar, nothing close to her.
Okay.
And because I was thinking about this when you asked me, am I, have I been programmed or conditioned to go after a certain type of woman? If my mother, who is a lighter skinned mixed woman, if that was my example as a matriarch, and then even in her mother being of another race, and on my father's side, his mother having, as we all know, because and then as we go down our lineage, we all gonna be mixed with something. And I know as a Pan-Africanist, there's an idea of holding on to the diaspora.
Yes, sir.
But the African American, and which is a whole different classification, a black person in America is mixed with everything.
Right.
So for anyone to sit and say,
but those mixtures does not.
Exactly. He finna say something, but I had to pause it right there, because it's mixtures, but when you look at a black person, they're a black person. You don't have to, is you black? It's white people out here. Their hair not like mine. Their hair don't grow like this. It's not this ain't what their hair look like. They skin ain't this. They ain't got no melanin in it. What you mean? They nose, they lips, they come on, man. We look different. We ain't the same. Like it's cool. Yeah, somebody in your family black, cool. Your mom black, your dad, somebody black, cool. But that don't mean you not at that point, you something else. Because if your hair not like this and your skin ain't, you come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Not take away from the fact you still African.
100%.
Because we're the strongest DNA.
100%. So if people say, you know, again, because you said you got a lot of this ideology because you look and see what you came from your mother.
Yes.
So if I look and my mother looks and has the complexion of a look that is maybe similar to a lot of the mothers of my children.
Okay.
You know, there's been a lot of conversations where they talk about, you know, my mother and Mariah.
Okay. Do they look similar in complexion?
Yes. They look like
this nigga lying. I'm sorry, his ass lying. He lying.
They cut from the same cloth.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And various, if we're just talking about complexionism, psychologically, would you
this
think that
lying.
maybe is that more of the reason?
It
that
definitely
I'm drawn
plays a
to,
role. Because
you know,
I was going to ask you earlier in
This
this
nigga said his mama and Mariah. I'm going to let it go.
conversation, do you feel that your mother or grandmother could have influenced your taste in women?
Right.
Because our mothers do influence us.
Yeah.
Right? Because my
I
mother...
ain't gonna lie, that just blew me. I can't even finish that. I can't finish this video. This nigga said his mama looked like I'm gonna get a picture of Mariah for y'all. I mean, and his mama, both of them. I'm gonna get a picture side by side. This nigga lying. But all right, y'all. We got a good little video in. I'm gonna chop it up, do some clips, shorts, all that, get it right, and I'm gonna post it for y'all. But yeah, just let me know what y'all think about the video in the comments. Give me some tips, whatever y'all want. If y'all want me to do a video or something, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that. Comment. Let me know something. Yeah. Let me know something, y'all.